Before we get into the nuts and bolts of everything, can you give us an insight into how the players feel, how they've reacted, how Coach Williams has reacted, and start right there?
Yeah, this has been just a moving target, all week long. Everyone saw all the messages, coming out around college basketball. We'll talk just basketball for a second. We have regular scheduled meetings here at the SEC tournament, and those started, Wednesday morning at 9:30. And, of course, we started out talking about, okay, the what ifs. And literally, like every minute, something's popping around the world, around the country, different statements, reports to Congress, the WHO organization about the pandemic. I mean, this is all just happening in real time. And so from about 9:30 to 12:30, it was sort of, okay, let's keep monitoring. Early in the afternoon, it shifted to, we need to play games tonight as planned, Wednesday night, but tomorrow, no spectators. And what would that look like? So that shifted pretty fast during the day on Wednesday. And then a really, really pivotal moment, I think, in the athletic world was what happened with the NBA last night. We all saw that. I'm watching it. We're all watching it. I'm in my hotel room talking to my wife. How are we going to play games, tomorrow? I spoke with Coach Williams this morning around 8 o'clock as he was leaving. I was leaving for the meeting. We're both asking the question, hey, are we playing? Coach, I'll keep you updated. And then about 10:15 or so, before a president's conference call at 10:30, I alerted Buzz that it's trending that way. Games will be canceled. They were at the shoot-around. I haven't had a chance to really interact with a lot of the players, but I saw a few of them getting off the elevator. And they were like, hey, we were doing the elbow bump, and they were like, hey, right decision, let's move on and work together on this. So I think they understood it. I think the NBA, was a reality check really for the sports world. And then you saw a lot of things just, happen, in the aftermath of all that.
So do you anticipate that this is going to be the end of the basketball season, not just for A&M, but for everybody?
Well, the NCAA hasn't made a decision yet on the overall tournament, but you've already seen, we're at, 1:50 Central Time. You've already seen Duke and Kansas say we're not playing, so you'll probably see more of that individually. And so I think the NCAA is just looking at contingency plans on what does a tournament look like. Is it shortened? Is it a smaller field? Do we have it at all? Do you play in smaller venues? I think all those things are on the table, but in light of, I think every conference tournament got canceled, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think everyone got canceled.
Yeah.
In light of that, how do you determine the field? How do you determine qualifiers, regular season champions, but what about at large? So I think all those things are on the table, and my guess is, if I had to guess, we're not going to see an NCAA postseason basketball tournament, but I know that's being discussed.
I know this is hypothetical, but in the event that with teams dropping out, if it came up where A&M was being invited to say the NIT, would you say that A&M would not participate? Or
so what we've determined as a conference is that if our teams are selected for postseason, if there is such postseason, we would play. So right now our track and field team is in Albuquerque at the NCAA indoor meet. As of now, they're participating in that meet. That meet is happening. If they determine that there's an NCAA basketball tournament, we have said as a league that Kentucky is the conference champion. They would be the representative, right? Same thing on the women's side, with South Carolina. So that's as of now, Olin. But like I said, this thing is happening every minute, every 5 minutes, every hour. So, but that's the position as of now. So if we're invited, and that's a league decision, and we can safeguard our student athletes, whatever that would look like, then that's a conversation we'd have with Coach Williams and our players and say, do you guys want to play? We got invited. Do you guys want to play? So that's a moving target, I think, at this point in time.
Okay. There's already speculation that it could be a question of senior athletes in spring sports maybe being able to extend their their eligibility, maybe even some basketball players. What would be your thoughts on that?
So those conversations have happened in a limited basis. What we're getting from the NCAA right now is mainly around how do we support our student athletes, how do we house them, what kind of meal plans, what kind of practice schedules. We're getting that kind of information. Extended eligibility, we have not had those in-depth conversations. I know it's been kind of thrown out there. What would happen if entire seasons are just canceled, like the Ivy League or the Patriot League? We're not sure about that yet. I think there's going to be a lot of sort of waivers and things like that that are going to come out of this, but I think it's too early to tell right now.
Football, any conversation with Jimbo about spring football and the spring game, anything like that?
I haven't had a chance to talk to Jimbo in person. We did have a conference call earlier today about 11:30 with all of our head coaches, all of our directors of operations, and the way it's outlined right now is that our in-season sports could continue to work out and practice. And then if we resume play, we resume play after March 30th. The out-of-season sports already have schedules already set, right? We have volleyball training, and they have scrimmages. We have soccer training, and we have football training. So those would continue as scheduled as of now. The spring game is after March 30th. We don't have a decision on that, whether is it just a private scrimmage, we don't have that answer yet. These things have to develop further. As of now, I believe we'll have football practice and we'll have those other trainings. But again, as things are shifting, as our university is also making decisions on what the campus operation plan is, those things could change, but that's the plan as of now.
Do you feel the need to test the athletes?
What we're going to do is we've already monitored if anyone is symptomatic right now, so we don't have any concerns about that. As student athletes come back from spring break, we're going to have them check into the training room to see if there's any symptoms. Those athletes that are in season are already in touch with their trainers on a daily, hourly basis. So again, we don't have any concerns as of now. So if that comes to that, and someone does show signs, then yeah, we'd have them tested. And right now, we don't see a need for that. And then we'll have people check in as they come back from spring break.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Thanks, Rob.
Got anything else?
One of the other things, we have not set the refund policy, for athletic events that are, suspended. So we're working on that. We'll communicate that to our donors and ticket holders and all those kind of things. So that's still in the works right now.
In conversations about the NCAA tournament, do you think there's any chance that they would just delay it and we'd have April Madness?
Potentially. Again, I think that's on the table is, delay it. What would the field look like? How would you qualify? All those things would have to be determined. So yeah, I think that could be part of the equation right now.
Anybody else?